Hey everybody, with thanks to Super Soco themselves, I have a Super Soco TC MAX on hand for 2 weeks because I want to see what it's like to live with this thing. This is a 125cc equivalent electric. This is about £4,000, a little over £4,000 with the government grant, I believe. You'll have to check into that exactly, but this is my first ride. This is not the review. This is just what's it like to ride around type thing. And I'm going to take this on a journey which is probably the equivalent of most people's commute. As you can see though, it is actually quite small. It is only 5mm higher on the seat than a Grom. Now, the alarm's gone off, and it does this to you. It's to try and make it more difficult to steal. Sorry. Unlock. Keyless ignition, and it seems to automatically put the alarm back on as soon as you turn the power off. Did you hear the music? Probably not. I'm not going to get into dials and controls and all that sort of stuff. I'll leave that for the review. But just know that there are 3 power settings which I'm going to play with throughout the week. That is broken because it happened on the way here, and they're going to get one sent out. Right. So let's talk power figures. This is a 125cc equivalent. It is CBT legal, but it has about 3.5 kilowatts of maximum output, if I understand it correctly. About 7 brake horsepower, which isn't a huge amount, but it is an electric, so it's got lots of torque. Now, I am 6'4", so I'm a big chap, and this bike is very small, so it's probably very comical for everyone who is viewing. However, it's perfectly comfortable. Now, this has been aimed in a very different part of the market than, for instance, the Zero FXS electric that I reviewed a little while ago. You know, that thing is £10,000, and it is everything you can get for an electric bike on a CBT. I've done all sorts of videos on that bike. This is aimed differently. You know, most of the cost of an electric bike, to my understanding, is in the batteries. The faster you go, the more you use batteries, and that's exponential. You know, the faster your top speed, sustained speed, that will lead to exponential use of electricity. So to keep the speed and everything down means you don't have to have such big batteries to get the same range, and thus it's cheaper. But it does mean that it's going to be slower. So this thing does, as I say, about 55, 60, and it does supposedly about 60-mile range at 30 miles, but obviously miles an hour. Now, obviously, you're not going to do 30 miles an hour everywhere. You're going to do probably 40 miles an hour everywhere. So I'm going to ride this just normally, see how many miles I get out of it. I probably should have taken track. I mean, it's probably only about 2 miles. What are we on now? 588. So we'll call it 586, and we'll see where we are at the end. And so I'm going to take this off the island. I'm going to go up the dual carriageway, see what sort of speed we can get out of it. No one behind me? No, so I can make a little gap. Right, 30 to 40 test. Let's try that. 30. Yeah, it definitely doesn't have the 40. No, sorry, 40. Yeah, 40. It was 40 when I said 40. The miles an hour is on the inside, kilometres on the outside on this, and it makes it look tricky to see. Currently saying my range is 37 miles. Now, this is something that a lot of people have said about electrics, you know, that, oh, you know, if 60-mile range or even a 40-mile an hour, a 40-mile range, 50-mile range isn't enough for me. Well, apparently, on the statistical data that I've looked at, most people's commutes is less than 10 miles. So, actually, for most people, for their commute, this would do the job. Not everyone, but it looks like statistically most. Very smooth on the throttle, I will say. Very firm ride, as all electrics are. And the tyres feel very firm. And of course, again, that's something that you're going to see more and more electric bikes because of efficiency, I think. It's got the power to pull out the corner. What's going to be fun about this, though, is it's going to be like a 125 where I won't want to lose momentum. The braking on this is a combined system where your normal front brake just seems to do the front brake, and your left hand, which would normally be your clutch, is actually the front and rear brake at the same time, a linked system. And actually it's pretty powerful. It's like, this is like the, oh, just slow down a little bit one. This is the I really want to slow down one. And I haven't managed to get it to lock up on tarmac yet. charge time on this is 6 to 7 hours with the slower charger, which fits underneath this little thing here and is actually in there right now. There is a fast charger which they've actually given me to use, which can do it. I think they said 3 or 4 hours, so it's a bit of an improvement there. So yeah, whereas the Zero FXS 11 kilowatt was, you know, that bike that was surprising that you could have it on a CBT because it performed like an A2 bike, and that's down to the fact that electric bikes are measured on sustained power, not maximum peak. I've done a video on that as well if you want to know more about it. This feels more like a 125, like performance-wise. If anything, it actually feels less than a 125. There is one oddity about this bike, which is that the indicator switch is a switch. So you switch it left to indicate left, you switch it to the middle to cancel it, and again to the right to go right. It doesn't have press to cancel. I don't understand why that has not been done, but I'm getting used to it. The first time I got on it, I like shoved it side to side a couple of times, but it's actually it's quite light. You can do it, but it's just a bit bizarre for a biker, you know, to come to a switch to cancel, not a push to cancel indicator. Right, well, this is the dual carriageway. We are going to find out how fast it is. This could be quite scary because I don't think it was giving the figures for someone who's 6'4" and my sort of size. I'm about 14 and a half, 15 stone. Well, it's picking up all right. And here we go. 40. 50. Okay, that is 60 miles an hour. And it's climbing still, 61. We're going to come off here. Man, I love it when I can do top speed runs like this because it's super easy. Yeah, 60, we're talking like 62. And that's me sat upright, no tuck. No tuck. Brakes. See? It's doing alright. And go! This is full throttle. God, I feel like I'm going to get my knee down in a minute. Come on, pull, pull, pull! Yeah! I'm going to have a fun couple of weeks, I can tell you that much. This has got that give it everything you can 125 petrol sort of feel. Okay, it's not got the power of petrol. 125, it doesn't. But it's enough, it's fun. 73% battery remaining. And we rejoin the dual carriageway for maximum speed. Nearly. I am joking a little bit, but you can see this is doing this fine. This is perfectly capable of commuting. This performance, it's fine. Yeah, I was worried when I look at the figures at first, thinking that's not going to be enough. It's not enough. It's usable. It's doable. Okay, I'm going to tuck 60. 60. 6. I don't think it made any difference. Super Soco versus a Porsche. Here we go. It's a turbo too. I can see him quivering in there in fear. Well, we're still next to each other, so it's as fast as a Porsche, right? I don't know what it is about these little bikes. They're fun. They're really good fun. I love fun little bikes. This is switching the 125 switches. Oh, I can do whatever I like on this thing and it's legal. Those sorts of things. Well, not anything you like on this. Obviously, stealing apples while on a motorcycle is still scrumping. It's just mobile scrumping. So brakes are good. Must keep in mind, of course, that no one can hear me coming. This is very quiet, actually. It's very, very quiet. I'm not going to get the bike down to 0 in this video. I don't have that much time today, but do you think I should do that? Should I do a video, you know, just seeing exactly how many miles I can get out of it? But what would you rather see me do? How many miles I can get out of it riding? Well, maybe we should do both, actually. I've got it for 2 weeks. How many miles I can get out of it riding it completely normally, you might say, and then being very careful. Could do that, could do that. No one around. Right, so this is the front brake alone, or what would be the front brake. So it does stop you, but it's, you know, it's reasonable. This one, okay, it does lock up if you grab it hard enough. But if you grab both, okay, I locked up on that one. I'll try not to do that. Of course, no gears, no clutch, so it's very easy to ride at slow speeds. And, well, easy to ride full stop really, because you don't have to do anything, you just twist this. I'm pretty sure this bike will have the range for me to do the same trip I did on the Zero, you know, up the island, off the island, through those country roads, nice and twisty, to have a bit of fun, and then come back on. I hope the range will be enough for that. I'm going to have to sort of get to know this bike and see if I think that's going to work. Oh yeah, I've just noticed this doesn't bong when you indicate. I'm really pleased about that. When I heard the music to start with, when you start it up, I thought, oh god, it's going to bong when you indicate. It doesn't do that. Which I know is probably a safety feature so pedestrians can hear you. But oh my god, is it annoying as a rider. See, this is an interesting point. Those electric scooters, they're all illegal. Not allowed them on the pavement, not allowed them on the road. They're not legal anywhere but public, private land. That's it. And the electric push bikes, the laws are that they have to be pedal assisted. In other words, you have to be able to pedal. Or you have to pedal for it to give you power. So it can't be a throttle system like this. And this is why these sorts of bikes exist. You know, okay, it might not be the equivalent of a motorcycle, a petrol motorcycle, but it is legal and faster than an electric push bike. And at $4 and a bit grand, yes, it's a bit more, and yeah, you're going to need to get insurance and CBT and all that sort of stuff, but it is legal. You know, you've got lights and indicators and all that stuff, so it's safer, I think. Because, you know, a lot of people I see riding electric push bikes, and I will say there's some electric push bikes that were on the island a while ago, and they were doing like 50, 60. I couldn't believe how quick they were. But no pedal assist, no helmets, no gloves, no nothing, and I was just like, okay, well, no helmet, no gloves, that's your deal. But they're not legal to use on the road, and I can see, you know, you run into someone on that at that speed, you could kill them. So I don't know where, you know, whether the rules are going to become more lenient towards these things or less. What a fantastic piece of indication. Very early into exiting the corner. I'm planning to only use this bike unless I have to go on a motorway journey, which this bike just cannot cope with. Otherwise, I'm going to try and use this for everything. As you can see, manoeuvrability it's very easy without a clutch. And the slow speed, I will say, this is good, because the Zero, I think it could only do about like 3 miles an hour or something. Obviously, you can drag on the brake. But this seems to be able to be more comfortable lower down. It's creeping. It's still creeping. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more videos on this. As I say, I'm going to have it for a couple of weeks. I'm going to do a review at the end. I'll probably do a few challenges on it along the way, and I'll also just be using it as a bike to vlog on and just use. So yes, huge thanks to you all for watching, and a massive thank you to my Patreon supporters who make this channel possible. Their names go up at the end. There's a link in the description if you'd like to help out and join. You get videos early, pretty early. It used to be 3 days, it's now more than that, but it's a minimum of 3 days. But anyway, I'll catch you next time. Bye bye. I just realised I didn't give you the final figures of what we've done, because I gave you the beginning ones. So we're up to 605 miles, we have 47% of the battery remaining, and it says 20 miles range at this point. So there you go. Bye bye.